Hello everyone, welcome back to episode 4 of my Clockwork Empires Alpha 47 playthrough. Um, I didn't get around to naming all the colonists after the faithful viewers here because I didn't have enough male overseers for all the male names. But I think I'm just going to name random colonists rather than just restricting myself to overseers. Otherwise, those names will never get in. One thing I will point out, though, so before I do that, oh, there's an aurochs wandering into town. Assign you for hunting. Perhaps my military would be interested in carrying out that order? Yes. So I've had a naturalist out and about surveying the nodes here. And one thing I noticed is that there's wrecked airship debris here. So I am going to forage that. Hopefully I can scare up some cool loot. And in the meantime, we'll see what these nodes yield up. Go get him, Beatrice Golden Thump. Source of malachite. I've been surveying because I really need hematite. That's the current bottleneck in my production chain. And so far I haven't found any. Well, there's plenty of all the other stuff, so there you go. That's one thing. And now let's cancel the rally job here. Another viewer pointed out that the stockpile is in a really inopportune place, an inefficient place. You see this guy carrying... We'll watch Bellis Sea Widow. Right? As soon as the corn gets harvested, it goes to the stockpile over here. Then a cook has to grab the raw food from here and bring it over here to the kitchen, then carry it all the way back to this stockpile. Which is, basically because of the distance involved, it's like just to walk that same distance 3 or 4 times. Or someone does. So it would be much more efficient to have the food appear right here. Or at least for the kitchen goods to be right there. So I'm going to draw a new stockpile, but I'm going to restrict that one to food products only. And that should be the most efficient path for the cooks. And I also got an overseer. And just so my colonists aren't confused, I'm actually going to forbid food from this stockpile here. And because I've got a whole bunch of beds in stock, and I don't have the resources, frankly, to build any of the more advanced buildings. I'm going to build a place to put all those beds. Let's make it interesting. Just another boring old box. Of course, it's got to have a door or 2. And we've got 8 cots in stock. 2, 3. I'm going to have to jam a lot of windows in here, or the quality is going to be terrible. And one more here. Alright, to the decor menu. Actually, I do have the cloth necessary to make some of these clothesline decor items. I don't see how those would make the inside of a barracks any nicer, but whatever. It's nice to have some visual variety. Oh, these have to be made at the textile mill. I should have considered that. Also, some coal has been discovered. Huh. Of course, I don't have a textile mill, so that will not get built. Oh. How did Beatrice Goldenthop provoke a giant beetle into attacking her? Those things are normally not aggressive, is what I'm saying. So I'm puzzled as to why it's attacking one of my colonists. But Cecil Smith, brave frontiersman, is pummeling it to death, even though he has a pistol strapped to his back. And now the giant beetle has exploded into smaller beetles, as they are wont to do. And I'm getting the warning that they're eating my crops. Yeah, they'll deal with that. Time to get some modules on my bunkhouse. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's plus 5, but minus 8. If someone has an objection to my current standing fish person policy, which has Has been friendship and will remain friendship. Friendship with the fish people, I say. Do I have a spare... I have a spare cabinet in the stockpile, which I was considering putting in the bunkhouse, but then I remembered I'd actually ordered one to be placed in here. So instead, I'm going to build a simple wall shrine. I guess that'll do for now. Wall shrines, by the way, are constructed here in the carpentry. So I'll order one up here. There we go. Have we discovered any malachite, or not malachite, hematite? Nope. Nope. Also no. Also no. Well, the naturalist's going to continue doing her thing. Maybe this one might be malachite. I really do need her to need a rush on examining that one. But in the meantime, carving up some aurochs for steak. How are we doing for resources? Wood looks good. Stone looks good. We finally cleared the giant boulders out of the cornfields. And if it turns out we do need more stone, I mean, I've got the giant stony waste over here. Actually, I'll queue this up for collection. I do have one iron ingot, which, says to me, I kind of want to save that, actually. An iron ingot is, it's vital in the production of a mine shaft. So if my naturalist does, in fact, discover a source of hematite that must be mined from the ground, it's absolutely crucial that I build a mine there. So I can't use that iron ingot for anything else. What was this? Coal. I am very disappointed. Anyway, back to naming the colonists. Now, YouTube person. Wait a second. Sorry, lost my train of thought there. I'm gonna pause for a second. So, the owner of Robust Theory has requested that I name one of the colonists Brangriff. In fact, that's going to be Cecil Smith's new name. He's already acquitted himself honorably, and not being the overseer, his life expectancy is longer than we might otherwise expect. Brangriff has seen some wounds, unfortunately. I think it's been from shooting all these aurochs. Yep. Okay, who else do we have? Next, male worker here. This is part of the kitchen crew. Hydunia Oilers' double-fisted cooks, the violent work crew. Or actually, what's your... Oh no, they're the carpenters. Alright. This man, Constantine Hat, he is going to have a new name, Mr. Meow. Here we go. Alright. This is our general hauling crew, I believe. Let's see. Nope. And this is our good friend Yaroslav. This fellow, Marcus Mudlock, part of the crew demolishing this boulder for rhyolite. He is going to be named, Roman Zender. We have more. Let's see. Roman Zender. Horatio Cog, or the man formerly known as Horatio Cog. He's a mushroom lover. That should suit the naturalist assistant quite well. Deadlight. Atar, there we go. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of these guys. Okay, who else is there? The former Mr. Cecil, of course. Yaroslav. Zachary Orsburn. He is part of the kitchen crew. Your new name, Alexander Faber. And I believe, and I have no one else to rename. I do have a couple more names in the queue, so when we get more immigrants, I'll see about that. In the meantime, berries. What I am tempted to do is to build a mine shaft just here in the grassy plains, not some distance away from any of these mineralogy markers, because mines built thus will produce clay and sand. And I can use that sand to make glass jars. Oh, got 2 more immigrants, so I'll check on those in a second. They're both ladies. And glass jars can be used to make preserved goods, which have a very high trade value, because the trading outpost is something I'm considering building next. That always reminds me, though, I should build an airship mast. I'm just going to put you out here, so that when I get airdrops of stuff, it won't land on my colonists' heads. The game's telling me I don't have enough bricks to build a mast, and that makes sense because I do not in fact have any bricks. And by the way, the next mineralogical marker we found was yet another coal seam. I could have sworn I'd built, yes, I built the ceramics workshop, but had not assigned anyone to it, even though it now has functioning ovens. Who wants to work in the ceramics workshop? So Lenora Ironwick. And at that, I would like a standing order of 5 bricks, and there's nothing else for you to make. And when you're not making bricks, you're allowed to do other things. Another concern, of course, is that I have no clay with which to make bricks. What I should probably do, malachite. Okay, son, I am disappointed. So what I could do, I could designate this so a clay dig or a clay quarry. But since I've already got 1 crew working on this and there's clay present here, I am going to cancel this, highlight this selection, and designate them. I want my colonists to mine surface nodes here. And so it becomes 1 job rather than occupying 2 crews at the same time. Now, excavating this pit, which has both clay and stone, becomes a single job on the job list. It just keeps it, it makes managing the workforce a little bit tidier, and it makes the job list a little bit more manageable. Oh, let's see what she's just... Oh, those are ominous looking stone blocks. I don't know that you should be poking around in there, Beatrice Golden Thump. She has discovered a source of coal, although I don't think I'm... See these mysterious stony black, black stony blocks? Yeah, it's not healthy to spend too much time around those. As I'm sure some of you are aware, those are basically dormant obeliskians. These little square ones are, I mean, even the little square ones are tough. So there are these. Oh, there we go. Run away. Run for your lives and your sanity. Oh, Deadlight Atar, you chose the wrong time to join the game. Oh, if you look at the bottom right here, we've had a notification that Ida Thompure had a glorious vision of a fish person and has now gone insane. Yeah, so we had a tall obeliskian. We had these cubey ones, and then we have the other ones that look like diamonds. They're kind of diamond shaped with the point up. All of those can come out of the ground and attack your colonists, and they're very tough, and it's better. They're bad for your health, basically. Okay, so the bunkhouse is coming along very slowly. I guess I don't have enough workers. Also, the ceramics workshop appears to be missing a door. I did not queue up enough loading bay doors in the carpentry. And although the cabinet has been delivered, nobody's built it. Okay, what's going on here? What is everyone doing? I think the problem here is that I've got a lot of overseers and, in this case, not enough workers. Also, although I'm Although my colony is attempting several tasks simultaneously, it doesn't have enough sort of a workforce to get them done. I would kind of prefer that I have more workers and fewer overseers, in that I would only be able to attempt a smaller number of jobs, but those jobs would get done faster. I've used this comparison before, but it's kind of like your CPU and your RAM, right? How many tasks you can attempt at the same time versus how much sort of raw work, like horsepower, you can apply to any given task. Ideally, you find kind of a balance. Now, since the manner in which you receive overseers and immigrants is determined by your in-game production of goods, that's not something you can directly influence. But yes, here's the thing I was trying to mention last episode and it completely slipped my mind. How do you get an overseer? That's an interesting question. It's tied to basically production. As you produce things, you'll hit certain milestones, and when you meet milestones for the next overseer, then you'll get an overseer. The same applies to immigrants. Now, things that... Oh, someone's trying to start a cult. Ida Thompure tried to form a cult, but Nellie Sankissen was not interested. She is, however, taking great comfort in seeing soldiers patrolling around. So there we go. Yes. So things that can... Almost everything is considered production for purposes of receiving a new overseer, with the exception of food production. Because food production happens constantly, and in fact you can't get away from producing food literally all the time. It used to be that immigration was tied, when immigration included food production, it would just happen so regularly that it was actually kind of boring. Because you'll probably be... there's some kind of fist fight with an aurochs going on over here. Because food production just happened constantly, you would get overseers super regularly, like Clockwork, one might say. And that made it kind of uninteresting. So as a design decision, the devs removed the production of food from the immigration considerations and basically balanced up the remaining production factors. So other things count more toward receiving, say, a new overseer, but there's more variability for that reason. So it, I guess it makes it a bit more interesting. It's certainly more, or it's certainly less predictable, more unpredictable. And it rewards a colony that is growing, that is busy producing things, right? You'll get more labor as you prove that you're able to handle more labor. Oh, wow, look at all this. So this is the wrecked airship debris that we were investigating earlier. I see someone surveyed it and possibly taken back some things. We see it contains some nuggets of gold, which is awesome. They're very valuable for trade purposes. I'm not at the stage in colony development yet when I'll be able to use them in construction. Still waiting on that hematite. Coal, okay. Oh, cubes of meat. What is this? Looks like a fishman party here. Scrap iron, cube of... Okay, now here's another small bug. Sometimes when fishmen bring you things, or when you kill fishmen and then chop them up for their meat, they don't enter into your commodities list. Now, I believe this is a... There are a couple of reasons for this, but basically it's two conflicting systems. There are some checks put in place such that, say, a bandit was killed way up here in the corner by a fishman, and he dropped his rifle on the ground. The way it used to be, colonists would recognize that, oh, there's a pistol on the ground. I should go get it and stick it in the stockpile. So they would walk all the way up here into like the dark at the edges of the map, and they would probably die trying to retrieve this pistol. So a check was put in place, and things that dropped but did not initially belong to your colony would not automatically flagged as colony property. That prevented what, the conga line of death, where one colonist would go and try and retrieve something and probably die, then his buddies would go and try and get his body for burial and they would die, and then you just have a stream of colonists running back and forth. But what it does mean is that sometimes when things that did not initially belong to the colony, but could logically be collected for the benefit of the colony, sometimes those things are also not collected. So in this case, these cubes of meat and this jungle fowl and this bushel of scrap iron. There's a workaround for this. What I can do is I can highlight these and forbid them. And now I highlight them again and I claim them. And now they're considered colony property, and when someone gets a chance, in theory they'll come and collect it. Another minor thing I'll mention, cubes of flesh can now be used in cooking. Kind of gross. I don't know where these cubes of flesh come from, but there you go. They can be made into the stew, the generic stew that accepts any ingredient. Also, this bushel of scrap iron will be super useful because I still haven't found any freaking hematite. But bushels of scrap iron can be smelted in a metalworks to make an iron ingot. So that's where we are with the colony for now. Still waiting on these new construction because apparently I don't have enough labor. I did, in this wrecked airship debris, I got even more bolts of cloth. So I actually have provisions to make more beds, which will be great. This may be my first colony ever where there are enough beds for everyone. I believe the next thing I'll make after this will probably be a textile mill so I can take advantage of some of those bolts of cloth. But in interest of keeping this episode shortish, I'm going to cut this off here. Colony's still doing pretty well. I mean, we've got plenty of food, so that production chain is working well. Again, we're still experiencing hematite problems, but hopefully we can work around them. And yeah, otherwise, that's what's up with the colony. So, my name is Alfred. This has been episode 4. The game is Clockwork Empires. Just found some coal again. No, thank you. Gaslamp Games is a game in early access, currently being developed by... Clockwork Empires is a game in early access, currently being developed by the developers named Gaslamp Games. It's available for purchase on Steam. Again, it's an alpha, so things are unbalanced or broken, and not all the features are in. But I think you can see the direction the game is going. It's pretty solid. Not a bad time to get in if this sort of simulation-y game interests you. Otherwise, I hope this video has been informative. I'll be continuing this for at least a couple more episodes. Thanks very much for watching. I will catch you next time.